Really pleased to introduce this. It's on our local university, so lovely to hear from them. Spa University, Creativity for Skills, Jobs and Growth with Andy Salmon and Tony Stimson. Welcome. So this is a session about using applied creativity to spark new thinking. We've heard quite a lot about thinking. It'll explore new mutually beneficial ways of working between employers and universities and colleges, applying creativity at all levels across all sectors in ways that would have been impossible pre-pandemic. So a lot of learning there, but how we can learn from the pandemic and great things that we can do with thinking, sparking creativity. So I've got written here, tonic against tired narratives.
It's what we need.
It's just what we need. So here's Tony Stimson and David Webb, Business Development Manager from Spa University. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome, and really great to hear that it's been a fantastic day so far. You're all very welcome to this session on creativity for skills, jobs and growth. We're going to explore how the university sector, Spa University, can create that bridge between ourselves and entrepreneurs. I'm going to start with a brief introduction to Spa University. We create and research across, the slides aren't moving here. Yeah, we create and we teach and research across a broad spectrum of subjects. Strong focus on the creative industries. We've got the Bath School of Performance and Music, Performing Arts and Music, schools of arts and design, but also we teach and research across science, social science. We've got a School of Education and also the Bath Business School. We've got just over 7,600 students and aspirations to grow to 9,000 between now and 2030. Very manageable growth. We're not looking to grow too fast because it would provide a distraction from our core offering and also detract from the offering that we provide our students. Universities UK state that approximately 85% of students at universities fall within that undergraduate category, so those 18 to 21-year-olds. And so through this session, I'm going to look at three areas where I think we can really challenge and build the bridge between universities, Spa universities, and entrepreneurship. Firstly, challenging the ways that we look at traditional teaching. Everyone's aware, it's been well documented, the challenges that the university sector's experienced across the last 18 months with the pandemic. Perhaps that reliance on 85% of students coming from that 18 to 21-year-old age bracket. So we've really got to look at how we broaden out our portfolio. We open up, we teach new types of cohorts, new age groups. The second point is Universities UK also states that a startup business originates from a UK university approximately once every 2 hours. A fantastic stat, and it's been that way for the last 5 years. Approximately 30,000 people are in direct employment as a result of that, and it contributes £1 billion to the UK economy. Clearly, we benefit from that, being in the Southwest, being a subset of the wider UK economy. So we'll look at that as well in some of the programmes that we provide. And then thirdly, there's this really important point about how do we foster economic and cultural development, working with the wider regional business community through our knowledge exchange programmes. So to pick up on the first point, challenging our thinking, okay, this point about 18 to 21-year-olds, 85% of students, how have we addressed that at Spa University? How are we looking to diversify our business and innovate? Working with our colleagues at Bath College, the University of Bath and Bath and North East Somerset Council, we've been working on a programme called iStart. It's for adult learners, so it goes to the point around diversification and diversifying our student base. And at a very high level, it combines teaching with research and innovation projects and business incubation space within the same physical building. And the concept behind it is we encourage creative collisions to occur between the three pillars. So, for example, a student participating on a course has the opportunity to participate in a research and innovation project aligning to the same subject area and gain practical experience in doing so. Likewise, from a business incubation space, they have the opportunity by virtue of these creative collisions to gain work experience, hands-on experience with an incubator that aligns to the course that they're on. It's really innovative on a number of levels. Both that and also the fact that this is a genuine partnership. No single institution could deliver this on their own. And in looking at we've relatively developed in the thinking behind this, the design points behind this now. We've taken two really strong principles here. Firstly, looking at the access points, so making it genuinely inclusive, regardless, so adult learners, regardless of previous employment history or education background, everybody's got something to contribute, and we want to embrace that within this program. And then secondly, at the destination points, working with employers to understand their needs. So we've probably spoken with somewhere close to 70 or so employers now as part of the evolution of this program, really digging into what they're looking for, skills they're looking for, so we can provide a relevant and current skills pipeline to address skills for future jobs and sustainability. And we use the curriculum to join those pieces together. Right? It joins the access with the destination. And again, as a result of the pandemic, we've been challenged in the way that we deliver content to students. Looking at the iStart program, we'll be embracing some of the learning points around blended delivery, online delivery, because actually we find to an adult learner base, it provides an awful lot of flexibility. They can combine teaching with existing commitments that they have, for example, part-time jobs. So we'll be looking at that. And also this concept of short stackable modules. So a module being 50 hours in content means that we can be really agile and change and adapt to employer demands. If you look at a typical degree course, it might be 3 years, it might be 5 years long. It's really difficult to change. And there's a really important stat here that says that a very high percentage of jobs in 10 years' time don't exist today. Okay, so if you think about that in relation to that 3 or 5 year statement, it's really important that we provide the agility, and we have the agility to respond to changing employer demands. And when we just sat around the metaphoric table, we've been working on this for probably 18 months now, so it's relatively mature. We recognized one immediate challenge, and the fact that that challenge, the fact that it's 2023, 2024 that will be opening the doors for iStart. So we needed to do something now. We were staring down the barrel at an oncoming pandemic and all of the challenges associated with that. So born out of iStart comes our Restart program, which is immediate. It's live now. It works on many of the same principles as iStart in the sense that it's modular, it's agile, it's demand-led. It's also fully accessible as well. It's really interesting points here that we found that marketing and entrepreneurship, a lot of freelancers are coming through this program. So in one of the asks from this session is if you are a freelancer and you would benefit from marketing entrepreneurship content by virtue of our Restart program, please speak to us because it's an open program. And what it's allowed Spa University to do is taking approximately 160 participants through the program so far on relatively limited marketing, we've been able to build an evidence base, an evidence of demand and need that's allowed us to go and bid for other central and local government opportunities. There were a flurry of calls that came out earlier this year, and we've been successful in the outcomes of a number of those. I can't speak to the specifics at the moment because we are under embargo, but suffice to say, a lot of them address those digital skills gaps that employers tell us about, okay, as well as the real importance of personal professional development skills that they tell us about as well. Things like, confidence, resiliency, problem solving skills will all be bedded into these programs that we'll be able to announce in 2 to 3 weeks' time. So really exciting times. And if we go full circle, using iStart, using Restart, it's provided this platform for us to be successful with these bids. We've been able to diversify our business and spread our risk as a result of it. The benefit to this audience is we've got a number of programs now that go to the core of creating a pipeline of skills that align to employer and business needs, both in the short term by way of Restart, the medium term with these bids that we've been working on, and then longer term with the iStart program. So that's how we've challenged ourselves, and we've been innovative in our approach to really looking at the traditional ways of delivering education and how we need to evolve to be relevant to employer and business needs. And that was the first point. The second part was looking at the responsibility we have as a university to provide programs and facilities for our graduates and undergraduates. And we've done that with a program that we call Emerge. Okay, it's a residency for graduates across art, design, performance, music, and creative media. And if you overlay the fact that 85% of our students come within that 18 to 21 age group, these individuals have been really, really impacted by the pandemic, almost a double whammy in terms of the age groups most impacted, but also the professions that they're in. But we've all heard of actors who are struggling, musicians who are struggling. And so the design point of this program is to provide a space for network, collaboration, for creatives to come together and really generate sparks and ideas. And overlaying, we've got Dave Webb's one of them, who'll speak in a minute, but business mentors, because it's really important that we forge an environment that allows these individuals to create sustainable incomes for themselves. We're creating a pipeline of creative entrepreneurs here. Okay. The second program that we provide is within our studio residency. So the studio is open to creative tech businesses within the city and region. We've got 27 residencies at the moment. Creative tech covers things like sound arts, robotics, coding. We're looking for more residents. Right? We're actively looking for more residents. So if you're a creative tech micro business in Bath or the wider region, please speak with us. All of the benefits that I spoke about in terms of the space, but being far more than a space. It's an area for collaboration, for networking, for the sparks to fly, come with the studio program. We also provide support by way of bid applications via our relationships that the university has with the West of England Combined Authority and the council. So we provide support in that regard as well. And again, we can go, as a university, we have relationships that it's probably fair to say that an individual micro business wouldn't. A great example of that at the moment is we're working with Bath and North East Somerset Council on an initiative whereby they've provided empty city centre space, vacant shop space in Milsom Street for our residents to go and display their wares, their products. It's great for the council because it aligns to their rebuilding the high streets agenda. And what a fantastic opportunity for our residents. So really underlines the value that we can provide. And to that point, we are looking and actively looking for residents. So please speak with us if you're a creative tech micro business. I'll hand over to Dave now. Dave's a mentor at Emerge. He's also an entrepreneur himself, a resident at the studio, who can provide some more examples of that. And then I'll come back in 2 or 3 minutes' time to wrap everything up.
Thanks, Tony. Well, as Tony's outlined, we have these two facilities: Emerge, which is this this space for new graduates from all creative disciplines to take risks in a very, very safe environment. And they're supported in a number of ways. There's just the infrastructure of having space and facilities to use that the employability team have put in place, and they give access to the wider university facilities. But also there's just this young people with talent being in a shared space. And as Tony put it, the sparks fly. We've seen that. This is the first time that Emerge has run. It's still slightly experimental, but it's delivering value. And that value might come in the form of people taking their first steps in their own professional practice, creating their own micro businesses. But there's value in social, cultural, and community dimensions as well. So it's a real privilege to be there. My role there is as one of the creative mentors. I'm not a specialist in all of the areas of these wonderful young people, but I can help keep them accountable, help them make realistic aims, and keep them accountable to them, help them make connections with the wider creative community in Bath and Bristol. And then I'm also a resident at the studio. So I have my own creative technology practice that I'm developing. And the studio, again, gives us a safe space to try something new. We have access to facilities. It's a place to work. It's a community. It's a network. And another thing Tony mentioned was access to funding. I mean, everyone's got access to these funds, but knowing they're out there and knowing how to approach them in a way that is most likely to lead to success, it happens much more easily within the studio and the network of specialists that they give us access to. And then beyond the studio itself, there are organisations like West of England Combined Authority, Bristol and Bath Creative R&D, Southwest Creative Technology Network, which is no longer, but the principle is that there are these bodies out there, and there's this wider network that we get access to by being members and residents of the studio, and it's quite a powerful place to be.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for that. The third strand that I spoke about in terms of the university building bridges between ourselves and entrepreneurship is, what role do we have to play in the wider economy, working with businesses, recognizing the fact that not every startup or business originates from the university in the region, right? And we do that through our knowledge exchange programs. Knowledge exchange is exactly that. It's the exchange of ideas, capabilities, facilities between the university and their individuals, businesses, or public sector entities for positive social and economic impact. Examples of that could be, working with us, working with our students on projects that you've got, challenges that you want to address. It could be, tapping into our expertise. The schools that I showed on the first slide, we've got resident experts within each of those schools for consultancy services. Again, you might want to engage with us on a consultancy project. Likewise, facilities hire as well. It goes way beyond things like meeting rooms. We've got, as a university, we've got specialist facilities and equipment. A great example of that is a TV studio within one of our campuses. Okay, we can make those facilities available to the business resident community as part of our knowledge exchange program. And so, we again bring this to a close. We've got the fact that we've challenged ourselves in regard to the way that we deliver education. We're creating a pipeline of talent, relevant skills, skills for future jobs and sustainability. We take the responsibility and provide the facilities for our graduates and undergraduates to flourish. It's also inherent that we work with the wider community as well. And if we do that, we all benefit. But equally, the only way that we can do this is through genuine partnership. So please engage with us and work with us on iStart when we announce the bids in a couple of weeks' time. Restart, if you're a freelancer, come and join us on the Restart program. Right? With the Emerge program, we've got a pool of creative entrepreneurs. If you've got challenges, come work with us and let's figure out how we can solve those challenges together. We've also got sponsorship opportunities as well that we would be very happy to speak with you about. The studio, we're looking for more residents. If you're creative tech micro business in Bath, please speak with us if you think that you can benefit from this space, but everything that comes with it. And then, knowledge exchange, some of those examples that I've spoken about, have a chat with us. I don't know how those conversations will go or where they'll end up, but in the guise of EntreConf, the future's unwritten. So let's create that future together. Eh? Our contact details are here. And I've placed some of the websites here in terms of the programs that I've spoken about. And to reiterate that point, the doors are genuinely open. Let's collaborate, let's work together, and let's write the future together. Thank you very much.
Really good, Tony. Thank you, and thank you, David, as well. We are a little short of time, but I would just like to amplify the points you're making at the end there. In our experience, from our commercial business media clash and our not-for-profit creative Bath, Spa Uni is a particularly great organisation to partner with in multiple ways. I'd like to ask David a question to start about mentoring. Both what's in it for companies having mentors, but also what's in it for the mentees. What benefit do they gain in your experience?
So the mentees, I think they want some validation of their ideas. They want to test their ideas. It's very easy to have creative ideas and they sound great in your own back room, but when you're trying to voice them to the world, you want some validation. And they want it's very easy to go from that to kind of overcommitting, too many behind that initial wave of a good idea that comes, oh, we could do this, we could do that. You need to kind of give them some focus and help them make realistic steps and goals that they can be held accountable to. And then the other thing we can do is help them find connections. People already working in an area, help them understand the world, the market they're going into.
Very good. By the way, I love your floating bike. That's been a major contributor today. We like that one. Very good. I'll bring in Andy in a moment. I'll introduce him. Andy is the Professor of Creative and Social Enterprise. I've got a question for you in a sec, Andy, but a couple of observations from a couple of our viewers. Gary Fisher of Mode Consult. Through our academy, we're looking to work closely with universities to have input into a course and look at sponsorship of students that come through our academy and into the world of work. Gary, Spa University, please talk. Sounds like you've got common ground. Similarly, common ground in a slightly different way with Franco Delacroix-Vaubois. Yes, I'd love to find out more about the studio, specialising in digital event space as he does, hybrid and virtual events. Franco, please talk with them. You've got common ground there. Andy, let me come to you. I want to ask you a question about, your students, all students, have had a pretty horrendously tough time in recent times. Have you noticed a desire for them to start their own businesses, to be more interested in being an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
No, tell us more.
Done. Both internally, in terms of the number of our own students who are taking up entrepreneurship programs within the university, working with employability services, etc. That's been the big growth area. Tony mentioned the Restart program, which we began as very much a kind of pandemic initiative, and of those 160, 170 participants, the vast majority of them are women, and the vast majority of them want to start their own businesses. And that these are displaced professional people who, probably already have a degree or may not have, but they're a completely different and I think this is a really important message in terms of how do we connect with each other. They're a completely different cohort from the 18 to 21-year-old undergraduate standard fare for universities. And the message that's underneath everything, thank you to Tony and to Dave, everything that they've said, is how do we become more agile, more flexible, co-creative, and actually co-producing with partners such as people here today. Because you know, listening to the EntreLeague call just before we came on, it's really obvious that the future is unwritten. It's really obvious that creativity in a whole range of different combinations, often in relation to technology, is going to create a whole series of future, if you like, educational interactions that focus around people wanting to start their own businesses, wanting to do things quicker, not wanting to partake of a 3-year degree program, and wanting to work much more directly, if you like, with the walls collapsed, in partnership between education and business. And I think we will also see that, Greg, with students who are coming in the next generation of people, because everything that's happened over the last 18 months has made people, and this is a good thing, much more quizzical about how what they're going to do next relates to what they're going to do as they go forwards, and also, I think, much more open to flexibility and change.
Thank you. We're going to come to our last question. I mean, it's quite clear from how you've been talking that the uni will be helping nurture these nascent entrepreneurs in times to come. Question the other way around, though. What would you most wish entrepreneurs watching this session to do as a result of what you've been talking about? Your chance to pitch.
Really simple. Connect with us so that we can talk. I think there's an element of humility in this. We need your input. We need to listen to you. We need to listen to what you need, and we need to then think about how we fashion things together.
That's very clear, and frankly, it's also very inspiring. Andy, David and Tony from Spa University, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much for the opportunity, everyone. Thank you.
That's kind. Thank you.